A serious Christian desires to be led by God. The process is similar with human leaders. The 5 principles a human leader would like for success from their workers is for them to be one with him or her by understanding what he or she wants, feeling joy through the work, accepting possible risks, and confidently following his or her direction and giving credit to their leadership. To further follow God, it's helpful to consider which of these basic principles might be your strength and which one you should be working on. I had the privilege in the late 1980s at St. Mary's of hearing Father Bob Bedard preach deep teachings on these 5 fundamentals that help parishioners follow God. It led as well to producing many local and even international ministries. As shown in the book, Permission Granted, St. Mary's was one of the most successful Catholic parishes in North America over the last 50 years. Confidence is important to effectively follow what a leader asks you to do. Here's Father Bob's preaching on having confidence in your ability to carry out what God is directing you to do.
God is doing something very particular in this age. We don't know all the things He's going to do. What we have to do then is follow the shepherd, keeping our eyes upon Him, with the confidence that He has already said what He's going to finally accomplish, namely the revival, the reunification, the purification of the whole church, that He's going to do that, with the confidence in that He's moving ahead to do this. And our priority in ministry has to be simply then to minister to what God is doing, to see what He's doing and minister to that. That's radical. At least that, for me, to change to that's been very, very radical change in my life, is to watch what the Lord is doing and minister to that. The Good Shepherd, Jesus, has each one of us tenderly in his gaze. He wants us to know that. He wants us to be confident in that, to open up to that, to experience that again and again. But He wants us to know, too, that that deep desire that has been placed within us to see the whole church come alive, that this, in fact, is going to happen. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, says, "Keep your eyes on me. Follow me."
Another aspect of confidence is that we should consider the biblical teaching on humility. Most people consider humility as a reduction in our confidence. Here's Father Bob's preaching.
We don't understand humility. Just a couple of words today on that, on humility. Of all the virtues, if we were to rate them in order of popularity, we would probably find humility down near the bottom. I'm not sure which one would be first, probably love. I think humility is probably regarded as a rather dull virtue. And basically it's because we don't understand it. And Wallace was the type of fella who always had his head cast down, spoke in low tones, and I suppose the world would say was a very humble chap. And he continually spoke about his wife, Sweetie Pie as he called her, my big old wife, who used to trample upon him regularly. And he took it. That, I think, basically is what the world thinks of as humility. And that is not humility. We have to understand it because it's a very important virtue, if you like. Or if we don't like the word virtue, it's a very important attitude before the Lord. Very important. It's very practical. We're not talking about pious twaddle here. We're talking about a practical, down-to-earth attitude before God. Humility is recognizing our limitations. And as Jesus put it, without me, you can do nothing. If I can enter into that and realize that without God, without the support, the power of God, I can't do anything, then I'm approaching humility. Humility is emptiness before God. That's what it is. And that's extremely important. Some people might say, well, I'm not sure that that's true. Because, great things have been done without reference to God at all. Without Him we can do nothing. Empires have been built. Fortunes have been amassed. Fame has been accumulated. Great things have been done. Careers, lands have been conquered without any reference to God whatsoever. I feel the Lord's answer to that would be very simply, yes, that's very true. But you see, these things are of no great consequence at all. They don't last. They're really of no true significance. The things that are important and the things that last are the things we cannot do without God. Lasting relationships, for example, that's important. Try and do it without the help of the Lord. It doesn't work. Humility is what we need to recognize that. You see, everything that is good is gift. Gift. Everything that is good are not things, all that is good are not things that we can achieve. They are things that we must receive from God. Inner peace, for example. That lasts, or has the potential to last anyway, for eternity. It's not a technique. It's a gift from God that the Lord can give me as I am empty before Him. And there are people spending hundreds, even thousands of dollars today to try to find inner peace. You can go on weekends for $500 or more to learn some kind of technique. I was talking to a chap just the other day who said, look, I tried to achieve inner peace, my wife and I, through transcendental meditation. We came to a time where we were meditating 4 hours a day, repeating some slogan. Gradually, he says, our lives were coming apart. Our relationship was falling down. Began to realize that was not the way to peace. I didn't come to peace, he said, until I came to terms with the Lord. How true. But it takes humility to do that. It takes an emptying out of self, saying, Lord, I can't do it. It means basically giving up control, which is the biggest game that we play as human beings, and is encouraged again and again through the things we read and the things we hear and the things we see. Aren't we told to get control of our lives? Get control. Be in control. It's important. Well, Jesus says it's not important. The important thing is to give control over to the Lord, and that takes humility.
Father Bob taught that we will have confidence in God, in whatever God directs us to do, if we accept that confidence.